Good evening. Thank you for joining us today at the Middlesex County Utility Authority Solid Waste Division Public Information Session. We thank you for attending this important meeting. My name is Joe Cryan, and I have the privilege of being the Executive Director here at the Middlesex County Utility Authority. I'm going to, before we begin our true presentation, I'm going to introduce the folks that are joining us tonight from the Utility Authority. I'm going to turn to and have our team introduce themselves.
Sure. Good evening, Paul Clark, Solid Waste Division Manager for the MCUA.
Bob Leslie, the landfill engineer.
I'm Matthew Vanderveer. I'm the assistant landfill engineer.
Chris Keller, a senior environmental engineer with the MCUA.
And joining us online as well, if you, Donald, if your team could introduce themselves.
Yes, my name is Donald Pinto. I'm a project manager with T&M Associates. And with me off camera is Ebenezer Sada. He's our air permitting engineer, and Gordon Parrish, who's our landfill engineer.
Thank you, Donald. And next slide, please. Welcome to the MCUA Landfill Title V Renewal and Minor Modification Public Information Session. A little bit of housekeeping before we begin. Please mute your microphone upon joining the meeting. Also, please use the chat function to send your comments and certainly any questions that you have during the presentation. So, to be clear, all questions may not be answered here at this public information session, but all correspondence received will be addressed by the end of the public comment period. And if you experience any difficulty during the meeting, please contact Robert Leslie at rleslie, R-L-E-S-L-I-E, at mcua.com. The purpose of this public information session is being held in accordance with the Administrative Order 2021-25, which was issued to ensure meaningful community engagement for facilities located in overburdened communities seeking permits from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, or NJDEP. The Middlesex County Utility Authority is going through the steps of renewing and modifying its existing, actually ours, Title V operating permit for air emissions related to the solid waste management at the landfill. And this information session will provide an explanation of the Title V permit and allow for questions, or if you choose, comments from the audience as well. Now, how do we tell folks about this session? Our notice of public information session was done through the following websites: the mcua.com, through the Department of Environmental Protection, NJDEP, and as you can see on the slide, DEP, NJ.gov, EJ meetings, # NJDEP, EJ public meeting, and also the community of East Brunswick Township at eastbrunswick.org. The newspapers we published our notice in were the Home News Tribune and the Courier News. And the print publication of this information session was done at the Middlesex County Landfill in East Brunswick, the Middlesex County Utility Authority, where we are coming to you tonight, located on Main Street in Sayreville, in East Brunswick at the Township Municipal Building, and also in East Brunswick at the Public Library. I'm going to turn that over now. And
Thank you, Executive Director Cryan. In terms of the public comment period, the public notice was issued August 13th, 2024. In addition to providing comments in today's information session, you can also submit comments in writing to the following: Middlesex County Utilities Authority, Joseph Cryan, Executive Director, P.O. Box 159, 2571 Main Street Extension, Sayreville, New Jersey. Email comments to public hearing September 2024 at mcua.com. Please provide all comments by October 11th, 2024.
Okay. Next, for an overview of the landfill, the MCUA is the sole owner and operator of the active Middlesex County landfill, which is located at 53 Edgeboro Road in East Brunswick. The landfill is approximately 247 acres in area, contained within a 315-acre plot surrounded by a permeable slurry wall. The remaining land serves as an environmental buffer to the surrounding areas. The The landfill accepts approximately 500,000 tons of waste per year, services all 25 municipalities in Middlesex County, and it's over 800,000 residents. We're open 6 days a week, and the landfill is a vital part of Middlesex County environmental infrastructure. Landfill accepts several types of waste in accordance with NJDEP regulations. They include municipal solid waste, bulky waste, construction and demolition waste, and all this waste is covered at the end of each day as per the NJDEP regulations. In addition to the landfill itself, the facility consists of the following: an administration building, scale facilities, a Class B C recycling center operated by East Brunswick Township, maintenance building, transshipment area, landfill gas collection system, a leachate collection system, and stormwater and contact water management facilities. During the breakdown of waste over time creates landfill gas. Our landfill gas energy system has 350 wells that collect this gas, and interconnection pipe sends it 7 miles to the cogen facility located in Saraville. This cogen facility then provides power to the MCUA's wastewater treatment plant, also located in Saraville. In addition, there is a leachate collection system. The landfill leachate is collected and transported via another pipe network to the MCUA's wastewater treatment plant. To operate the landfill, there is numerous permits required. The list provided, the first one would be the New Jersey Pollution Discharge Elimination System permit. This permit regulates the stormwater discharge from the capped areas of the landfill, along with monitoring of the groundwater. A modification was submitted in July 2021, which has been deemed administrative complete and is under NJDEP review. The Title V permit regulates the air emissions at the landfill and is the subject of this evening's public information session. Additional information will be provided shortly by our consultant, T&M Associates. Our solid waste facility permit regulates the acceptance of solid waste at the landfill. A renewal was submitted in May 2022, which included a vertical capacity increase. Renewal application was deemed administratively complete in August of 2022 and is currently under review also. A significant industrial user permit was issued by the MCUA wastewater division, which allows the landfill to discharge its leachate into the MCUA source system for treatment at the plant in Saraville. Finally, we have a freehold soil operating permit. This is a general soil erosion and sediment control permit for the landfilling operations. Next, Donald.
Thank you, Bob. So the initial air operating permit for the landfill was issued by DEP on April 21st of 2004. The renewal application for the permit was submitted to DEP on February 23rd of 2023. The current permit had an expiration date of April 20 of 2024. However, because we submitted the renewal application well in advance, a year plus ahead of the expiration date, the landfill is covered by the permit shield. And when the permit is issued by, renewal permits issued by DEP, it will be good for 5 years from the approval date. Next slide, please. This slide lists the significant air emission units in the air permit. The first source is U1, which is the municipal solid waste landfill with 2 enclosed flares. U8 is a 2,000-gallon gasoline above-ground storage tank, which is used to fuel facility vehicles. U9 is an emergency generator. This provides power to critical landfill operations in the event of short-term power disruptions. U10 is a landfill gas-fired Cummins engine. This is designed to provide more long-term power in the event of catastrophic disruptions to more long-term disruptions to power. Say, for example, during Hurricane Sandy, up to 2 to 3 weeks of power can be provided to critical landfill operations in such an event. U11 is a series of landfill gas trench vents. These collect migrating landfill gas, but this is actually for the old Edgeboro landfill that sits beneath the active Middlesex County landfill. And U20 is a gas conditioning and treatment system. this is actually tied to the landfill gas engine. Before landfill gas can be burned in the engine, it has to be treated to remove hydrogen sulfide and siloxanes, which would be abrasive to the engine. Next slide, please. This slide lists the criteria pollutant and hazardous air pollutant emission limits in the permit. So the first row, you have the criteria pollutants. So VOC is volatile organic compounds. NOx is nitrogen oxides. CO is carbon monoxide. SO2 is sulfur dioxide. TSP is total suspended particulates. PM10 is particulate matter less than 10 microns. PM 2.5 is particulate matter less than 2.5 microns. And HAPS stands for hazardous air pollutants. The second row lists the actual permit limits for each one of these pollutants. So for example, volatile organic compounds, VOCs, are restricted to 52.23 tons per year. Nitrogen oxides are restricted to 31.79 tons per year, and so on. The last two rows illustrate the actual emissions from the landfill for the years 2022 and 2023. And as shown in this table, the actual emissions from the landfill are significantly below its permit limits. So for example, the 2023 emissions for VOCs were roughly 27 tons per year, well below the VOC limit of 52. The nitrogen oxide emissions were at roughly 4 tons per year, well below the nitrogen oxide permit limit of 31.79 tons per year, and so on. Next slide, please. So as Bob Leslie mentioned, under the facility's solid waste facility permit, a vertical capacity increase has been filed for that is anticipated to begin in 2028. So with respect to air emissions, this vertical capacity increase will result in no increase in criteria pollutant emissions above the permit limits that were shown on the previous slide, and will only have a minor increase in hazardous air pollutant emissions from 8.02 tons per year to 8.84 tons per year. Next slide, please. So as part of this permitting action, a facility-wide risk assessment report was prepared and submitted to the DEP in July 2019 as part of the renewal. In that report, we presented the ambient or offsite maximum concentrations of hazardous air pollutants emitted by the landfill at or beyond the landfill's property line and at sensitive receptors such as hospitals and schools. The ambient impacts of hazardous air pollutants were predicted using an atmospheric dispersion model, namely AirMod, that is required by NJDEP modeling regulations. That modeling showed that the predicted ambient impacts from the model showed that risks to human health are negligible. They're well below NJDEP's risk assessment requirements of less than 1 in a million for carcinogens and less than a hazard quotient of 1 for non-carcinogens. Next slide, please. So conclusions. So as a result of this minor modification, no changes to criteria pollutant emissions limits will be requested. The total HAP emission limits will be increased by a minor amount from 8.02 tons per year to 8.84 tons per year. And a facility-wide risk assessment for these increases indicated negligible impacts to human health associated with this hazardous air pollutant emissions increase. Next slide. So in conclusion, this public information session provides a summary of operations under the following applications for the Middlesex County landfill: the Title V operating permit renewal and the minor modification. Upon approval by DEP, the Title V operating permit will be active for 5 years from the approval date. And I'll turn it back over to Paul.
Thank you, Donald. Thank you for attending tonight's public information session. Again, as a reminder, please send all comments by October 11th, 2024 to the following. Written comments should go to the Middlesex County Utilities Authority. Attention, Joseph Cryan, Executive Director, P.O. Box 159, 2571 Main Street Extension in Sayreville, New Jersey, 08872. And email comments should go to public hearing September 2024 at mcua.com.
On behalf of all of us at the Middlesex County Utility Authority, we thank you for joining us. We could not encourage you any more to please send all comments if you have any at all. And we look forward to the dialogue, and we appreciate your attendance tonight. Have a great evening. If anyone has any questions that's joined us this evening, we apologize. We should have asked that first. If you have any questions, please take a moment, speak up. We don't see any in the chat. We want to go ahead and encourage any dialogue we can. You have nothing in the chat, correct?
No.
Okay. Since we don't have any, we wanted to go ahead and reemphasize this point. So since we don't have any questions or comments in the chat, we've concluded the presentation. This will in fact conclude our presentation this evening. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.